Hey guys, Philarus here. So patch 14.8 has arrived, and one of the larger changes on the patch is the shift in grub spawn time from 5 minutes to 6 minutes. Now, this might not seem like much at a glance, it is just a minute, but between 5 and 6 minutes is one of the most significant portions of the game, and there's a lot of changes in this minute that affect the dynamic of grub takes. Now the patch notes cover two of the more important factors. Desyncing the grub spawn from Drake spawn means we'll see fewer handshakes between the two objectives. And a 6-minute spawn timer means solo laners will be level 6, while junglers will be only level 5, putting much more agency in the hands of the solo lanes. But there's one more timer you really want to consider as a jungler on this patch. Previously, it was pretty standard to see junglers break off halfway into their second clear rotation to head to grubs or Drake on spawn. But with grubs being shifted back to the 6-minute mark, this gives junglers enough time to finish off their second clear rotations first. The timer at which you finish your second clear is extremely significant, and it actually changes how you want the path on this patch. If we take a normal full clear timer, we generally expect to finish anywhere from say 310 to 325. Of course, some champions are a bit faster than this, but the majority of junglers fall into this bracket. What this means is that you'd expect your final camp to respawn somewhere between 525 and 540, and if you arrive on spawn, you'd finish between say 540 and 555. Now, if you're clearing from bot to top, this is pretty much perfect for showing up at grubs on spawn. If you're clearing from top to bot, whether or not you can reach will depend on how quickly you did your first clear. But in either case, you do not have enough time to actually recall for items and HP before the grub spawn. And in most cases, you won't have enough time to go for a gank to set up good lane conditions for a contest either. So what can we do about this? Simply shift the order of your final camps in your first clear. Clear Gromp before blue, or clear Krugs before red. This shifts the timing of your final camp's respawn forward by about 15 seconds, meaning your final camp in your second clear would respawn early enough that you could clear it, recall, and head to grubs on spawn with perfect conditions. You could also go for a quick gank before grubs instead of recalling to set up an advantage in one of your solo lanes. Alternatively, if you don't feel you can contest the grubs, you'll simply be on map earlier to make a potential play on the bot side instead, while the enemy jungler is doing the grubs. Now, this is not exactly new tech, there's a lot of farm jungle players that clear their camps in this order regardless, but it's a lot more valuable with the 6-minute grub spawn. This is because previously, if you shifted your final camp respawn timer forward, it wouldn't really mean much if you were breaking off your clear at 5 minutes to head to grubs or Drake anyway, since you wouldn't be at that camp as it respawned. It could even be actively detrimental sometimes, since an earlier spawn timer gave a longer window for the enemy jungler to steal the camp. But now, that faster respawn timer is much more significant in a much more reliably relevant way. So I highly recommend, regardless of your champion, if you are going to be full clearing on your first rotation, take your second buff last unless you have a great reason not to. This will give you a much better timer to either recall or set up an advantageous position leading into the grub spawn. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more.